This is part 2 of looking at the programming construct selection. We've covered the if statement, but now we're going to look at the nested if, okay? The nested if allows us, or allows a program, should I say, to look at multiple conditions without having to repeat multiple, with linking those, should I say, linking those conditions together. Okay, let's look at this scenario, the grade calculator. We'll do it together and hopefully this will build your understanding of a nested if and the syntax in pseudocode. So we are writing a pseudocode program that outputs a grade based on the mark entered, and we've been given our grade boundaries. The first thing we have to do, yes, I know, it gets annoying, but we have to declare our variables, okay? So I'm going to declare this as a variable called mark, okay, and the mark is going to be an integer. Okay, I'm going to assign the value, oops, we don't want a capital, just keep that as it should be, as a 0 at the beginning of the program. And then we're going to jump straight into our if statement. I'm just going to move the screen. Oh, it's not letting me move up yet, that's fine. So we'll keep working here. So what we do is we say if capital letters mark is greater than 79. Why? Because if anything greater than 79, more than 79, it's an A star. So if mark is greater than 79, then we're going to output grade A star. Okay, then now we're still okay, then we're going to say else, because if that's not true, we're going to say if. Notice my if is inside my first if in terms of the indentation. This is very important, okay? So these nests, these nests of ifs are linked together. So we look at the mark. If it's not greater than 79, we jump else and we go straight to this additional if, which is if mark is greater than or equal to 70. Then we are going to indent again, indenting. Notice what's happening here. Then we're going to output grade A. Okay. Again, we do need our else. So else if, now we're coming in again, if mark is greater than or equal to, looking at here, okay, greater than or equal to, 60, then we are going to indent and output grade B. Okay, then we go down a new line again. Hopefully you're noticing the pattern. We have to go inside all of our ifs. Each time we indent, we nest further into the statement, and we say if mark is greater than 50, then we are going to output, oh, what did I do? I've forgotten my else. I hope somebody picked that up. Well done if you did. Okay, so there should, for every if there is an else, and if mark is 50, then output grade C. Okay, and then we look here, and if there's anything else, right? So we've covered any value of 50 or higher. So now anything else will be a D grade. So what we do here is we get our final else, line it up with our line it up with our final if, as you can see here. Okay, notice the ifs all align all the way up to the main. Okay, and then now we are going to just output, line that output up, output grade D. Okay, and all we need to do now is come in and start ending our ifs. Okay, If you notice, so this end if is for, oops, sorry, this end if is for this if. Okay, now my next end if, okay, this end if is aligned to this if and else. If you see, if you put a ruler there, you would see they align. And then I have one if here, so I have to do one more tab. Oops, sorry, end if. This end if aligns with this else and this if here. And then our final end if is our ends our the opening if right at the top, and there is our if and else. Oh my goodness, did any of you spot the error? Where do we input our grade? Shocking behavior. If you noticed that error before me, well done. I'm just going to make a space at the top of my program, okay? And let's get our input in for pseudocode. So input, please, oops, please enter a mark, okay? And then we are going to save this input into the variable named mark. There we go, fantastic. And this is our completed pseudocode answer. Well done. You know what's coming next. Let's move into Python to visualize what we've just done. Okay, so here's our pseudocode solution. Oh, goodness me, we forgot our input up here, didn't we? Did anyone notice this? Or is it just me? Shocking. All right, let's put our input in. So once we've declared, let's just quickly update our pseudocode here. Okay, so inputs, and please enter a mark. And this is going to be stored where? In the variable called mark, okay? So now let's match this line in Python. So please enter a mark. Now, we say if our mark is greater than 79, oh sorry, greater or equal to 79, then we are going to print grade. Oh, what have I forgot? My speech marks. Grade A star, right? Close bracket. There we go. Now, instead of doing the nested if, the way you have to learn it in pseudocode, when we're in Python, we actually can use the elif function, okay? And the elif function works in a very similar way. We don't have to worry about the indentation. This is the really nice thing about this. We just now need to continue. So we are now saying if it's greater than or equal to 70, colon, then print. Notice if I get my syntax right, when I pressed enter, Python automatically indented, right? Indentation is very, very important. So let's continue here. This would be an A. Okay, then we're going back to another elif. Be careful to take off your cap lock. And then we are now saying if we're greater than 60. Okay, and we continue down. Notice that auto indentation. Challenge yourself. Pause the video and see if you can complete this program without me. And no worries if you can't, just press play. So, how did you do? Here is our complete program. Okay, we have our input line, we have the variable mark, initialized to accept an integer input. The prompt to the user is please enter a mark. And then we have our if statement, if mark is greater than or equal to 79. And then instead of the nested if, we have our elifs, yeah? So hopefully your program looks just like mine. And if it doesn't, don't worry, take a moment to correct any syntax. You should have run your program to test it, and we will do that now. And you should run your program 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Why? Because you should test each if statement. You should check that your program does exactly what you think it's going to do. So I'm running my program now. I'll just move that over here. You'll see I have done some tests already. There's my A star, okay? I will then run my program again. So I'll just go back, run it again. I'm now going to give 100 marks and check that A star, and it seems to be running well. Okay, so let's just take a look at these two solutions side by side. I'm trying to line them up line for line here. So we've got our pseudocode solution with our inputs, and then we've got our Python solution. Not the nested if, but we need to know the nested if for the pseudocode element of our syllabus, and this is the Python equivalent. Okay, well done.